Hey, welcome back to the channel, Open Road for Two. You can see the awesome site behind us. That is Mammoth Rock. And we are making this video coming to you from Lake Mary up in Mammoth Lakes, California.
We did something a little different. We booked a campground for a couple nights up here. Instead of doing what you're used to with our normal dispersed camping or yellow post or whatever you want to call it. But we decided to give it a shot and see how we like the campgrounds. We haven't done one for a while, so
it's been a long time.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it a shot and see how this trip goes. So we've got some family we're gonna meet up here as well. We've got our daughter up here that's camping in a different location, but we're gonna meet up with her, probably do some paddle boarding, maybe some fishing.
And Mocha's along for the journey too.
Yeah, that's right, Road Dog's here.
So if you're not yet subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow us along on our adventures. And now, let's get into the video.
Let's go.
Prior to checking into camp, we met our daughter up at June Lake, which is approximately 20 minutes north of Mammoth Lakes. June Lake is a popular summer destination for fishing, swimming, and paddle sports. The region has been described or dubbed as the Switzerland of California. It is very famous for its trout fishing. Before we hit the lake for some fishing, we joined our daughter Trinity and her boyfriend Ryan for breakfast at a local eatery.
You know, there's nothing more special than spending moments like this on the lake with loved ones, catching up, and spending time together.
Where do we go from here?
Like Randy said, there's nothing like spending quality time together on the lake. However, it's even more fun when you're able to catch one or two. After a few hours on the lake spending time with the kids, it was time for us to head to shore and make our way back to Lake Mary to set up camp.
This is day 2 of our Mammoth Lakes adventure, and we're coming to you from the Hot Creek Geological Site. It was amazing as you come to see the overlook, and then you see this pool of blue water, but it's not inviting.
Yeah, you got the sulfur smell down here. The overlook's nice. You can, if you don't want to take the trail down's probably, I don't know, quarter mile down and then back up. We brought Mocha just because it's an easy trail for her. It's about mid-80s out here right now, so it's not too hot for her. And again, we talk about knowing your pet's limits, and this is a nice easy trail for her that we don't have to worry too much about her. But definitely want to keep your pet on a leash out here.
Yeah.
There's signs about that because, you know, we hear horror stories of dogs that go off leash and run into scalding water, and you don't want that to happen down here. And but it's a beautiful sight.
It's
I mean,
really
the
pretty.
blue water, as you're seeing in the video, is just amazing to look at. And rushing up against, not rushing up against, but just
falling into a creek.
Yeah.
And that's why they call it Hot Creek, because it's got scalding hot water in it. So there's signs posted, danger, no swimming. So this isn't the place to come to take a refreshing dip, but it's definitely a sight to see and super beautiful.
And they have it closed off a little more than it looks like it used to be. It looks like you used to be able to get a little closer to the creek. And we're not rule benders, so we're not going to go over and climb over these makeshift fences they have to get closer to the creek. I mean, you can see everything you need to see from.
But definitely put it on your list when you're out here. I mean, it's a quick drive. It was 16 minutes from the Mammoth Lakes area. Super easy. The trail down's paved. But yeah, put it on your list and check it out. Hope you enjoy it.
From scalding hot creeks, we made our way to a beautiful, refreshing waterfall at the Twin Falls Lake Overlook.
Okay, so I made it down to Twin Falls. At the bottom of where the falls is, there's a nice lake down below. I'm not sure which lake it is, but a little bit of a trek down here. So it was just me. My lead stayed up with Mocha top because it is a little bit of a sketchy trail down here. But let's get a look at this.
All part of the adventure, right, love?
When you almost die at Twin Peaks waterfalls, no bueno.
No bueno.
No bueno. Got wet though, it feels nice.
Adventure safely.
Adventure safely, don't be an idiot like me. So, breaking away from the last little clip, if you notice the little markings I have on the shirt, that's trying to get that shot underneath the waterfall. Slipped on the algae. It's algae, not dirt. It won't come off so quickly. Yeah, and a little, I think it's broken. It's not broken, but it hurts.
So like we said, we did something a little different this trip, and here we are in an actual campground. Pros and cons of campgrounds.
Vault toilet.
Yeah, close by, right, just a couple of yards away.
But that could also be a con, depending on when you've gotten used to pooping in a bucket. I mean, if you've gotten used to it, it's fine. You don't have a problem with it. And they're not terrible, but they're not the nicest either.
Pro, we do have a fire pit because there is a fire ban right now, and you are allowed to have a fire here in their fire ring, so that's a pro.
Recycling and trash here on site, so you don't really have to pack it out. You just collect it and dispose of it right here at your. I mean, it's literally 10 feet from our campsite. Pro,
right next to the lake.
Right next to the lake, yeah.
We have one of the paddle boards already all ready to go. Just walk down, launch. You can be in the water as much as you want, come back, and you're right here all set up to relax and enjoy the rest of the day.
And pro, you know where you're camping. I mean, I'd say that's a pro.
Yeah.
That you don't have to go hunt for a spot. You're going to have a spot. And we talked about it also being kind of a nice home base too. Like we could leave.
It's a good launching point.
Yeah.
We had a tent that we actually pitched. We still have the tent here on the truck, but our son was going to come with us and changed at the last minute, but we pitched it anyway. And it was great to keep things in when we broke down to go adventure today. So I think that's a good pro.
That's a pro.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about the cons.
Number one for me,
people.
The noise.
People.
We love people. We like being around people. That's not the issue. It's more of the respectfulness of the quiet time.
Quiet time's 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Quiet time's 10 p.m.
But that's not usually the case. But that's my first con.
Yeah. Second con, people.
Privacy. When we're primitive camping and boondocking, I change, not even in our little change thing. I just kind of do it in between both doors.
Yeah.
Free and wild.
Not so much here.
Not so much here. I might get arrested. So, so people, one, people, noise, people, privacy. Another con, what?
People. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the biggest thing.
I think it's more of how close you are,
Yeah.
how close the sites are. I know that there are other campgrounds where they're a little more spread out, but this one you are pretty close to each other.
And you just have, like, as she's talking, there's a truck driving by right behind us, and so I mean, again, when you're out dispersed, you'll see a car here or there. I mean,
but it's
we're
several yards
out,
away.
Yeah, we're 30 yards away from the road that comes in here, so you hear that throughout the night.
Well, this one we're kind of like a fishbowl, huh?
Yeah,
all around.
Last night we heard, people playing music even throughout, even after quiet time. It wasn't loud, but you could still hear it.
Yeah.
You hear people snoring on different campsites. Not me. I don't snore. I don't.
No, I'm going to tell you guys something funny. I actually get kind of nervous sometimes even it happened here because there are bears around here, but when we're like primitive camping, I always feel like the sounds he makes, the sounds that come out of my wonderful husband, are going to draw Sasquatch
You think
to camp.
Sasquatch is going to come find me? That I'm a lost member of the tribe.
Yeah.
Imagination on this one. It's amazing.
But this whole trip too, we kind of planned it around Mocha bringing her as well. So a lot of the adventures that you're going to see on this video are tailored to her, because you definitely want to plan your adventures and your excursions.
And I keep looking away because she's
her.
being mischievous right now over here where we have her tied up right now.
Because pets have to be on a leash at all times in a campground. Other than
Yeah.
that, campgrounds, pros, cons, they're not for everybody. I think in our case, we do prefer primitive camping, wild camping, dispersed. It's also called Yellow Post out here in Southern California. However, there are times when campground will be needed or we will utilize, but just in our case, we prefer the wild and away from people, just a little isolation. So, that's the 2 cents from Open Road for Two.
Yeah.
We're not here to offend anybody because,
Well, and if we were traveling in an RV or something, where it's a little more soundproof than our tents are, then maybe we wouldn't mind so
or
much.
if we had a big group, like if we had a big group where all the campsites were all together, like right next to each other, that would be super fun.
Yeah,
So,
you'd totally be pissing off the other people around you, but as long as you're happy,
obey the rules, honey. Obey the rules of the campground.
Well, that's what we were talking about. Is like the people, they do have big groups that were here, and they're being loud. Yeah, they're having a great time, but they're really not that concerned with everybody else around. And see, now she just knocked over our hook. So,
oh no!
So look at this dog.
The tent will blow away.
Look at this dog.
All right, we're gonna go take care of Mocha. We're gonna
Yeah.
get some time on the lake, and we'll catch you guys soon. So.
Whether you enjoy campgrounds or wild camping, what it comes down to is your love for the outdoors, spending quality time with family and friends, and making lasting memories. Get out there and see where adventure will take you. Until next time, we'll see you on the open road. Bye.